Hey y'all, Tanny Cooks here. Today I'm going to show you how to make tuna salad stuffed deviled eggs, and I'm going to show you the best technique to make perfect hard-boiled eggs, and I'm going to show you how to season them up so that the egg and the tuna salad is absolutely delicious. So let's get to cooking. I'm starting off with the basic ingredients that we're going to need to make our tuna salad. I'm using these Star-Kissed tuna packets that are 2.6 ounces each. 4 packets to give me about 10 ounces. I'm using mayonnaise, mustard, dill relish, this Kingsford lemon pepper seasoning that is in partnership with Badia, garlic powder, green onions, and then of course I have some eggs, and these are Eggland Best. So to start off with, I am going to wash my green onions with water and white vinegar. This is my standard mix that I use to clean all of my produce. I'm going to make sure I dry it off carefully because I don't want any of that extra liquid to be in my tuna salad, and then I'm just going to chop up my green onions. So I'm doing about 5 or 6 pieces to get a couple of tablespoons of green onions to use. I have a 2.5 quart Pyrex bowl that I'm going to use, and we're going to put our tuna in that. And you can pause this video if you want to see the nutrition facts of 1 pack of the tuna. Now I'm showing you my favorite way to cut open a bell pepper. I like using this wedge method or technique because it lets me get it open without having a lot of seeds splatter everywhere that I have to clean up. It's not a huge deal to deal with the seeds, but if I can get it done neater and quicker, then that's the method I'm going to use. So I'm going to use a half of this bell pepper. If you don't like bell pepper or don't have it, you don't have to use it. You could use celery for the green and the crunch instead. So what I like to do is just give my bell pepper wedge a slice, and then I'm going to turn my slices sideways and then dice it up so that I get a nice little dice from my bell peppers. So I'll feel the crunch when I eat it, but it won't be too big or overwhelming. Because I typically cook by taste, I decided to pull out my tablespoon so that I could give you some actual measurements to let you know how much of this bell pepper I'm actually using in my recipe. So by using the tablespoon, I'm able to show you that I'm going to use about a total of 4 tablespoons of diced bell pepper, which I have in my pretty little container, and about a couple of tablespoons of green onion. So I do have half a red onion that was in my refrigerator that I'm going to use in the egg salad portion. I like to slice it sideways, long slits as you can see, and then turn my onion and then put some perpendicular slits in it. This way it'll make it easier for me to get a very small dice so that my dice of this red onion will be similar to the size of the dice for my bell peppers and my green onions. Now that I have a few tablespoons of red onions, I'm going to go ahead and add my 4 packets of tuna salad to my bowl. You can use canned tuna, of course, if you like. And to start off with, I'm just going to add a half a cup of mayonnaise, and then I'm using Dijon mustard because I like the flavor. So I'm going to start off with a couple of teaspoons of Dijon mustard. And I have minced California garlic from Costco, so I'm going to put a heaping tablespoon of that in the mix as well. And then a tablespoon or so of my green bell peppers and a couple of tablespoons of my green onions first and then bell peppers. I'm using dill relish 1 tablespoon because I like dill relish better than sweet relish. This lemon pepper in conjunction with Badia has a strong citrus kick to it, and it has more of a lemon flavor to it than the other lemon pepper seasonings that I've tried. So that's why I like it. And I'm adding a generous sprinkle of dried parsley for color and for flavor. And I'm using one of my favorite wooden spoons here to mix with. I'll have a link to this wooden spoon and fork set that I bought from Amazon. I use it to mix with as well as just to eat with. So what we're doing here is just mixing in all of our ingredients together to make sure that everything is fully incorporated with the mayonnaise and mustard. So I don't want any pure white streaks of the mayonnaise because I want everything to be mixed together so I get the delicious flavor. And I like to make my mayonnaise-based salads the night before I'm going to serve it so that all the flavors can just gel together and marry and be very happy the day we serve it. I tend to find salads taste better the next day. So I'm going to give it a taste. Don't do like I did and use a knife to taste it. I tasted it on my finger just to see what else it needs. So I did decide I needed another teaspoon of mustard, a sprinkle of lemon pepper, some more granulated garlic or garlic powder. And so we're adding these seasonings to taste. A person's taste buds might change from month to month, so each time you cook, it's a good idea to just give it a taste and make sure the seasoning is where you want it to be. And if it's not, then you can adjust it while you're still in the cooking process. So look at this. It looks absolutely delicious. And that pop of green onion is absolutely beautiful in this tuna salad. So I'm going to put that in my refrigerator. The next day, I'm going to go ahead and boil my eggs. So for this recipe, I'm just going to do a dozen eggs. I have a big pot on my stove with water, enough to cover my eggs, and I place my eggs in. So the water is warm because I already have the heat on. You could bring your water to a boil, but I didn't. So now I'm adding about a half a cup to 3/4 a cup of white vinegar. So you don't want to overfill your pot because you don't want it to overflow. And I am letting my eggs come up to a boil. So it takes just a couple of minutes for my eggs and the water to get to a rolling boil. And then I turn off my heat and put a lid on it, and it's going to sit there for 11 to 12 minutes. When that time is almost up, I'm going to make an ice water bath. So I got a mason jar full of ice and a bowl in my sink with cold water to make my ice water bath. So once my eggs have been sitting for 12 minutes, I take them out and I place them into the ice water bath. This ice water will help it to cool down, help the eggs to cool down so that the membrane doesn't stick to the eggs and it's easier to peel the membrane and the shell off. So I'll show you a few eggs here. I like to have a little drizzle of water running from my faucet so that I can peel the egg underneath that stream of water. I find that getting some of that water underneath the membrane that I'm peeling with my finger helps me to get the membrane off easier with the shell and in bigger pieces so that hopefully I'm not breaking the egg or creating nicks in it. There is one nick there, but that's okay. Typically, I really hated peeling eggs and potatoes because it's such a hassle until I found out the best techniques to do both. So here you can see the actual membrane that I'm peeling off. So you do want to peel these slowly and carefully. Take your time so that you can try to get the best result. But this ice water bath really does make a difference. And I suppose the vinegar that I put in the water as well. I'm not throwing away these shells. I am going to crunch them up and use them in the soil of my potted plants. So look at my dozen beautiful boiled eggs that have been fully peeled. Absolutely gorgeous. So what I'm going to do next is chop them so that I can start making the yolk mixture that's going to go inside. So I'm using a paring knife and I'm just going to slice through each egg. And what I like to do is take a wet paper towel and wipe the knife after each slice I make so that that warm yolk doesn't get on the outer edges of the whites of my eggs, just for presentation purposes. I suppose I could have done a better job at cutting my eggs in half evenly, but it was kind of late and I just didn't feel like it. So what I'm doing now is I am using just a gloved hand to pop the egg yolks into a bowl. You could use a spoon to do this, but it works just fine with my fingers. And I don't mind if I leave a little bit of yolk in there as well. So with my wooden spoon, I am just mashing up my yolks, and now I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of mayonnaise, and I'm going to make this egg yolk mixture to taste. So I am going to add a tablespoon and a half of mustard, a couple of squirts of Worcestershire sauce or Worcestershire or however you pronounce it. You see it on the screen, so you know what I'm talking about. I also like to add a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar with the mother, and then a tablespoon or so of chopped red onion. And I'm going to give this a mix, and we're going to taste it and then add more seasonings as we need. And keep in mind that we do have our seasoned tuna salad in the refrigerator that's going to add to the deliciousness at the end of this recipe. So when you're making your yolk mixture for your deviled eggs, you want everything to be incorporated well, and you want it to be creamy, so you may need to add another tablespoon or so of mayonnaise. And when you taste it, you'll know if you need more onion or other seasonings. So I added paprika, I added dried parsley for color and for taste. And I like my yolk mixture to be a little chunky, so if you like yours smoother, then you can mash out all of the egg yolk so that it is completely smooth, and then add more mayonnaise, mustard, and Worcestershire sauce as needed. But again, this is up to your personal taste, so try a couple of things out, taste it, and see what you like. I am adding some sodium-free salt substitute as well as black pepper to this. I like that no salt brand of sodium-free seasoning. And so what I'm going to do now is add this yolk mixture to a plastic baggie and then cut the tip off so that I can use this as a piping bag to pipe into my eggshells. And so you want to take that piece of plastic that you cut off and make sure you put that in the trash so that it doesn't get mixed into one of your deviled eggs. So I'm just giving my plastic baggie a squeeze to get that yolk mixture piped into my egg whites. And I decided for this recipe, I want to have the yolk mixture in the deviled egg and I want to have the tuna salad on top of it. If you wanted just tuna salad in the egg white, you could do that. It's your food. Do what you like. I have this beautiful holder from the dollar store to put my eggs in. And so I have plenty of tuna salad here. So I'm just using 2 spoons to gently put about a tablespoon or so of tuna salad on top of my deviled egg. For presentation purposes, I decided to add the tuna salad to every other deviled egg. And so the eggs that are the traditional deviled eggs, you may want to pipe some more of the yellow yolk mixture. But I had enough tuna salad to put some in a bowl to be in the center that people can eat with celery, carrots, or crackers. In addition to having deviled eggs, it was my intent to have extra. I'm giving it an extra drizzle of paprika because that adds beautiful color and flavor, and it looks absolutely delicious. And this is a great way to jazz up your traditional deviled egg recipe. Something different, something fun. So leave me a comment down below and let me know if you think you'll try this method of making your deviled eggs. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel.